It sure is, hey. Big mug. Not me, but the cup. Thanks for tuning in. Another review for you today. We've got the Eduard Cockpit set. This is one of 3 of their first releases. They've released this, some seat belts and a mast set for the Lancaster. I pre-ordered all 3 of them. Decided not to get the seat belts because I'm not sure that their lap belts are correct, but I'd rather use HGW anyway, to be honest, or fabric belts, should I say. And also then there's the mast set. Well, I've now got the DN Models one. I've never tried DN Models, but I think the vinyl may work better than the kabuki tape type masts. I don't know. But I didn't cancel this one because I thought, well, let's see what it's like, let's have a look. And basically this is what Hannon showed as being, this is the set, and I was assuming that when they said cockpit set, this was part of the set and there'd be another fret on it, like you get, you know, with the 48 scale. You got the cockpit, this is the cockpit, still the interior set, and then you got this one on the back as well. In fact, I think there's 3 frets with this one, but yeah, so basically this set is that. And the reason I'm doing this sort of face-to-face intro is because you're probably going to think I'm being really hard on Eduard. And I guess in a way I am, because of the way they're going. And I hear a lot of talk about it. It's not just me that feels this way. I mean, I've got it written down here. I've got 27 big Ed sets and over 50 other PE sets. I can't count all the other PE sets because some of them are in kit boxes in the stash, but others are sort of on the shelf. So if you add up the money I've spent with this company, it's probably a couple of grand. And you know, every other cockpit set I've got is a cockpit set. This is not a cockpit set. This is basically instrument panel and radio faces. And I mean, yeah, they're giving you a couple of other little bits and pieces, but it's nothing much. And the other thing that I find quite frustrating is there's a lot in this cockpit that needs to be corrected. We all know the seat's too long. The actual upright on the instrument panel is the wrong shape, and they've done none of that. So, you know, I would have thought they would have given us a sort of something to improve the seat. You know, the little mechanism on the side of the armrest that it isn't there, but they've given you the seat raising and lowering handle, which is right down on the left hand side of the seat and pretty much can't be really seen. So yeah, a little bit disappointed in this set, to be honest. And I'm going to be sort of, in future with Eduard, I'm going to be more careful, I think, with what I buy, because you know, I've noticed more and more, and the older modelers amongst us will agree, that if you go back to the days of a 1/48 scale B24 or a B25 Mitchell for the, say, Revell monogram kit, you bought a set of photo etch for that model and it was everything in one set of PE. Okay, it wasn't colour, it wasn't self-adhesive, but you got one set of photo etch for the model. You know, this one here, this 48 scale interior set, this is everything for the interior of a 48 scale Lancaster. Now, I'm not expecting Eduard to put together a complete interior set for a 32nd scale Lancaster, because it would be huge, especially with the HK model as well, because there's so much missing. But, you know, if you're buying a cockpit set, please give us a cockpit set. I reckon now there's going to be an interior front set, that's fine. It's going to be the front area around the bomb aimers area. Then there's going to be the wireless operators set. Well, you've got most of that here already. Then there's going to be the navigator set. Well, you've got some of that here already. And are they going to do a cockpit floor set that's going to include the actual pockets down the side of the pilot seats? I don't know. You know, I'm really... let's go and have a look at it and see what you think. I'll probably get a load of slated for being negative, but this is just my opinion, guys, should I say, and this is what the channel's all about. It's all about my opinion. You tell me what you think, and if you think I'm being down on it and give me a dislike, well, that's fine, but I think a lot of people will agree. I just don't really think this cuts the biscuit for what's called a cockpit set. This used to be called a zoom set, and if this is the way they're going now, if this is the cockpit set, what's the zoom set going to be? Just an instrument panel? Who knows? Okay, so let's have a look at it. As I say, it's a brand new release. I did order this actually last Thursday, I think it was, and it's come today, Wednesday. So yeah, that's not fantastic, but anyway, so let's have a look inside the pack. It's the usual Eduard sort of envelope with the resealable bottom, and we've got one sheet of PE, which is as you see coloured, and we've got a set of instructions, and the part number is 32938. So we've got our A4 colour instructions. Nice to see their colour rather than just the black and white which you sometimes get. So what have we got? We've got the seat raising and lowering frame there with the handle to put in. You've got to make that yourself from plastic. That's not going to be particularly visible, but it's there. Nice touch. We've got the oxygen bottle netting goes on the back. And then we've got some fronts and handles for our radio equipment within the radio operators area, and there's also this radio here, I believe, which is just behind the pilot's seat. I'm not sure I'll be using some of these radios because I don't think Dan Buster's had them, but that's obviously something you need to check out. And then moving on to the main part, we've got the actual instrument panel itself, and what it's telling us is to actually remove all the raised detail on the instrument panel, and file off any detail that's on here on the throttle areas where these parts here are going to go. So that's all good, and then we've got the levers going in here, which is fine. Now, as I said earlier, some may think I'm being hard on Eduard. I think there should have been more in this set. I mean, if you look at the 48 scale set for the Lancaster, this is the Lancaster interior. So you've got all these faces and everything for the radios, and obviously there's more on this side. But we've got all these faces here, we've got the engineer's panel there. But then when you turn over, we've also got the pockets that go down next to the pilot's seat. There's turret stuff here, which I agree in 32nd scale. But if they're going to call this the cockpit, then surely this should include everything that's in the cockpit. I mean, there is a lot missing from the kit, a lot, and it's not all here. I mean, admittedly, I'll go over the sheet here, and we've got these two star wheels here going on the trim parts. I think they're both too small, and also this one here was actually a sort of cast wheel with sort of, I don't know, probably 20mm diameter thimbles on it, if you like, or thumb wheels. I don't know what to call them, but having it just as a piece of flat sheet, I mean, I really wish they'd done like a centerpiece and then fold over the inner and outer to sort of give it some body. We've also got the compass gear here going on, and some other bits here for the next to the pilot, this is just to the left of the pilot's seat. So, and more, and engineers' faces and stuff. So yeah, we've got it all there, and they're also telling us to go and buy their seat belt set in steel. It looks like they've got this bit correct, which is nice. But these belts here, are they too wide? I don't know. You tell me in the comments below. And I don't get where that one's going to attach if it goes in here. So that's something else we'd have to have a look at. But I'm waiting for the HGW belts anyway. I'd rather use the cloth belts than the steel ones. So yeah, it's a very simple set, and I kind of wish they'd put more in it, really. A couple of nice things. If you notice on the instrument faces, they started putting a gloss varnish on the actual dials, so you don't have to. What I used to do is just put a blob of crystal clear or white glue or X22, sorry, in there just to gloss them up a bit. But they've done that for you here. Nothing stopping you doing it again yourself if you want to. But also, I've noticed on my example, the actual, I don't know if you can get it in the light. Let's see if I can get it under here. But my sample is actually at a register. You can see, got flickering, stop the flickering. So we can see that the compass there is offset. Everything is offset to sort of, I don't know, to 10 o'clock. As you're looking at it now, you can see everything is off. That large face on there, you can see that's off, and the circles around the dials on the engineer's panel, they're off as well. So you know, it's not going to look 100% anyway. And I must admit, the other thing I don't like is this sort of metallic-y grey, metallic black finish on the panel. Don't like that at all. And as I say, in comparison to the Airscale instrument panel, you know, I don't think there is any comparison really. The detail on the Airscale panel, okay, you've got to paint it yourself, but the detail is a lot more crisp, and also it's also different in design. I think this is a Mark 10 instrument panel, or even a Mark 7. This is the correct instrument panel for an earlier Mark. So so yeah, there we go. And again, looking at the engineer's panel there, you know, you've got extra pieces to go on top to give it more depth and more 3D. This one is just this, where is it? This one is just moulded in one. So yeah, I think when you're actually, you know, when it's in there, you're looking down at this sort of angle, I think this one looks a lot better, especially when you've got the holes there. You can add all the switches and everything to it. So for my money, I think the Airscale set is better. I mean, yes, you haven't got the oxygen mesh there. You could probably make that. You don't have these wheels and the bits and pieces for the radios, for some of the radios, but the wheels are too small anyway. As I say, that one is that one should be trebled up in thickness. If you look at your references, you'll see that wheel there is quite fat. In fact, what I'll do in a minute, I'll pause this and I'll show you what I've actually done. And maybe you'll think mine is a bit overscale, but I've done that to sort of, you know, give it the kind of stage makeup, you know, make it sort of pop really. So yeah, all in all, this is, I think it's about 18-19 pounds. It's the same price as the Airscale set. For my money, I'd stick with the Airscale. And here's this is my scratch built example, and you can see on the top here, I've got this is the trim for, I can't remember what it's the trim for, but we've got the top one there, and then the one on the front here, this one here, and this one here. And you can see the top one there, to give it more 3D, what I've done is taken a flat strip of PE and then folded it into that shape to make like a star, drenched it in solder so it becomes a solid lump of like a star shape, and then drilled the center down to give it that kind of the kind of shape that it really is. What I'll do is I'll put up a photo now of this area, and then you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Ignore this part here. This is something I've added because the dam buster, this was the manual emergency release for the upkeep bomb. So obviously the normal bombers didn't have that. And you can also see that I've done, you know, around the undercarriage mechanism there, I've sort of cut that about and added some detail to that. And I've also added here these pockets down the sides, which I'm sure Eduard should have really put in this set, to be honest. There's also a lot of detail to add behind the seat, and I don't know, maybe they're going to bring out another set which covers the cockpit floor, because this is totally scratch built. This is not using any of the kit parts at all. This is the floor that you get in the kit. This is my floor, so you can see it's lower, it's smaller, and it's the right shape. The kit is very, very simplified. So there we have it, guys. Oh, and just as a comparison, I just want to show you, there's the wheel that I've made, the trim wheel, and then here's, get it into shot, that's the trim wheel that Eduard are giving you in their set. You know, you make your mind up which you think is correct. And then that trim wheel there on the top, you can see mine is metallic, and this is part 31, or part 26, isn't it? If you look at there, part 26, that's the Eduard example of the same thing. So you see what you think. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Like I say, I know I've come down a bit hard on Eduard here, but I think, you know, when you consider what Eduard used to give us in a cockpit set, this is really, I mean, this is more like a Zoom set. So they're actually now, are they going to start giving us cockpit sets that are like the old Zoom sets, and then you've got to buy another set for the cockpit floor? We already know there's going to be a front set, there's probably going to be a front turret set, there's going to be a midsection set, there's going to be a rear set, probably a rear turret set, a bomb bay set. I noticed there's a flap set already been talked about, and it's over £70. You know, I'm not too sure, guys. I'm not sure if they're actually going to sell any. So let's wait and see. But overall, you know, yeah, it's nice, but I don't think it's nice enough for the money. And I would have happily paid like £25 and had it more complete, rather than now have to go and buy another set. You know, for the floor and everything. If all I wanted was these pockets and I wasn't able to make them out of plastic card, I'd have to buy the whole other cockpit set, I expect, just to get them. So I think they should really be in this set. So thanks for watching. As I say, I'm not down on everything, but I am pretty down on this. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.